All right. Well, here we go, Rob. You and I both, of course, everybody knows now we picked the Clippers to win it all. I'm sure we both watched that game last night very closely. Denver's giving them all they want, man. I got to give the Nuggets credit. They're a little better than I expected. But the Clippers obviously up 2-1. Yeah, but still, I thought it was and I still think there's a gap between the Lakers, Clippers, and everybody else in the West. But it was a good game. Bottom line, it was a really good game. And the guy that carried the Clippers, now I thought Kawhi played a really nice floor game. You know, in game 2, when they threw the double teams and the traps on him, they collapsed in the paint against his mid-range stuff, he kind of forced stuff, and he looked bad. Yesterday, I thought he played a smarter floor game. Wasn't as, obviously he didn't have to shoot
force
as much.
It. Right, but
that's what he didn't do.
Don't force
the
issue.
Force it. Yep, and he had some great passes, and obviously the finger block late, which was spectacular. But the guy that carried him, and I know it's the guy you want to talk about, he carried him, and it was Paul George. And props to him, because we know, he's had his issues in the bubble, but he was great last night, and that's led you to become once again, as you were last week, a prisoner of the moment. But go ahead.
I'm not a prisoner of the moment. I just think you got to see.
We'll let the fans decide after you make your grand statement and proclamation.
No, you just got to see Paul George, who, of course, was struggling. It was the reason why probably the first round series could have been over in probably 5 games if he would have played before game 4. Remember, he struggled terribly, shooting just ridiculous. I mean, point blank at the basket. But last night you got to see Paul George when he is right. Was it last year, the first 60 games of the year, Chris? He was in the MVP conversation. He was playing
and
so well.
And not the first time. Remember in Indiana, he was in
right.
it once,
but he was last year. That was last year.
He was early. Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Early
Averaged
on, maybe first 45. Yeah.
Yeah, he played well.
And so he's the reason why, obviously, Kawhi wanted him, why I do believe the Clippers will win. He doesn't have to play this well. 12 for, what was he, 12 for 16?
18.
18 from the field, 5 for 7 from 3. And he's been on a tear really since that really bad game that bottomed out where he said he was depressed in the bubble and he just wasn't himself. And now you look and see where he is. And I think he's one of the most underappreciated players in the league. People are quick to jump on him when he has bad games or when things don't work out. And a lot of people poo-pooed him, especially after the first series. Nobody was saying anything about Paul George. They were calling him all kinds of names. He finally and smartly decided to just get off social media, stop messing with and worrying about what other people think and all that. And a lot of guys can't do it because they grew up in this era. And for older guys like Chris and, people like that. Oh, I forgot myself. It's easy for us not to even worry about that, right? I mean, I don't care. I'm on social media. I see what people are saying.
You're on like a 26-year-old.
I'm a young guy. I'm a young 56. But when people say crazy stuff, I just block them and keep it moving. Because then that's when they hit Chris up trying to get back on my social media.
Well, one person
mad.
did it.
Yeah, whatever. It's more than that. But my point is, I do believe that he is an important piece, obviously, to the Clippers when he's playing the way he played last night. And I don't mean he has to be perfect, but that's the reason why the Clippers, I believe, will finish the job and be NBA champions. But he's underrated. And people always look for his weakness to rip on him instead of looking at what he's got.
Rob Parker, okay, here's the key of course he's a key. Yeah, he's a key to the Clippers. He's going to help them win a championship. Right, I agree. But you said 2 things that I definitely cannot let stand. He's one of the most underappreciated players in the league, and he's underrated. Rob Parker, stop it! That is ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
And first of all, your contention, and I like Paul George. He was definitely playoff P last night. Definitely playoff P.
But people have bad.
This notion. Well, let me finish. I mean, you had your 8 minutes. His notion that he has been on fire since, he shared with us his depression and his mental issues he was going through and he got off social media. Not true. Game 6, the deciding game against the Dallas Mavericks, he had 15 points. 6 for 19 from the field. 2 for 7 from 3. Now, he had 9 rebounds, 7 assists, but clearly not on fire. 5 TOs. Game 1 against Denver, 19 points. Nice. 6 for 13 shooting. Okay, nice. Not on fire. Game 2, 22 points, 7 for 19 shooting. That's 36%. So, first of all, your whole premise is off. He was great last night. He was awesome last night.
That's not true.
But
let me just correct the numbers. Let me correct the numbers for you. Because since game 4, all right, since he deactivated the Instagram, he's averaging 24 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, shooting 49.4% from the field and 43.6 from 3. So what are you talking about? Yes, that is fire. I mean, 49% from the field.
I just read to you the individual
from the
game.
Field.
Well, yeah, he was 49% of it from the field is pretty good. Don't act like that's awesome.
44% from 3.
Most of that's from last night.
No, but if that's what it is.
He was 2 for 7 in game 1. He was 2 for 7 in game 6 against Dallas.
I'm giving you the numbers. You have to put it all together to give you an average.
I'm giving you the context. I'm breaking it down individually because last night boosted all of that. He was 5 for 7 from 3, 12 for 18 overall. Stop it. Your premise is ridiculous. Underrated. Underappreciated. He's
underappreciated.
He's a max player, for goodness sake.
That doesn't mean anything.
Be held to a high
that doesn't
standard.
mean anything. They pay everybody. People have to be paid.
Rob, you had your 10 minutes. Can I get a word in edgewise? I'm responding to what you said.
I thought you were still on vacation.
I'm responding to you. Wish I was, because you'd be slapping Jonas upside the head. But not me. I'm back, baby. And I'm not going to let you get away with this madness. Now, Paul George is a great player. He's a perennial all-star. So the notion when we get mad or we criticize him because he shoots 35% in a playoff game, we're not supposed to do that? We're supposed to let it slide? What? That's nonsense. He's a max player. He's been a number 1 guy most of his career. He carried the Indiana Pacers to the top seed in the East and battled the Big 3 in Miami and gave them all they wanted. I'm not supposed to hold him to a high standard? You want me to treat him with kid gloves and baby him? Stop it. Underappreciated, underrated. Rob Parker, come on. He's in the perfect position right now. He's the number 2. That's what he is, and that's no slight on him. He's a perennial all-star, and, he could even make the Hall of Fame one day. But right now, he's a number 2 guy to Kawhi Leonard. And last night when Kawhi played the floor game, didn't force his shots, Paul carried him. That is what they need from him. I'm with you on all that, Rob. He is a great number 2. But this notion, I just had to shoot all that stuff down. I mean, for goodness sakes, Rob Parker. Jiminy Christmas. All right, Rob, let's get right to it. We asked the question, and you made the statement that Paul George is the most underappreciated player in the playoffs. I say hogwash. What say you? 877-99 on Fox.
And don't forget, in the third hour of the program, it is a Trash Talking Tuesday, so we'd love to have you chime in. Don't forget about that in the final hour.
Yes.
All right, Gary in the OC. You're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. What's up?
Hey, guys. It's good to talk to you. It's been a long time. But I'm calling in because I think both of you are right in a little bit, in a way here. I don't know that underappreciated is the right term, but as a Clippers season ticket holder and someone who has friends in management, I can tell you that we absolutely appreciate Paul George and everything that he brings to the table. I think nationally there are some folks that have maybe slept on him and maybe jumped off the bandwagon because of a few bad shooting performances.
Exactly. As
Well,
soon
he's
as
up
he
and
has a
down.
bad,
He's
as soon-
inconsistent.
Gary, as soon as he has a bad game, they act like he's
How about
nobody.
a bad week? I'm just saying.
No, look. You can. Granted, you can
Back to back,
criticize
14,
for-
11, 9.
for-
3 straight playoff games. He's not supposed to get criticized?
Yeah, but Chris, go check the career statistics. What you're talking about is a guy who was a number one. If you look at his career playoff performances, the numbers are off the chain. Okay, look at the career percentages shooting off the chain. You're talking about a guy who plays both ways. Look at the analytics. Go check the
Which
analytics
is
on
why-
defense, even
which
when he's
is-
not shooting well.
I hear you. And I've said he's a great player. That's the only reason he gets criticized, because he is such a great player. But when you go 14 points, 11 points, 9 points in 3 straight playoff games, and you're having trouble with a team you should wipe out, you're going to get criticized as the second guy and a max player. That's all I'm saying.
Tony in D.C., you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Tony?
Fellas, what's good? Always
What's
a pleasure.
up?
Yes, sir.
Rob,
Yes.
your article on Deadspin, Josh McCowan, my brother, couldn't wrote any better. I always love your articles, man. Keep
Thank
up the great
you.
work.
Appreciate
Chris,
it. Yep.
welcome back from the psychiatrist visit that we sent you on last week. After we
Man,
put
look,
you in
get
check.
to the point. Get to the point before. Let's see what you got to say about Paul George, because I
There you
will go
Tony.
ham on you.
That's all right.
Look,
Tony, don't worry
I
about
haven't
Chris.
heard Rob use an acronym in a while, so Paul George is the month, the most underachieving max player in the league. Chris,
Wow.
I agree with you, my man. He is too inconsistent. If the Clippers got this Paul George, they would just walk right to the title, but you don't know what you're getting with him. 14, 11, 30, 10, whatever. You just don't know what you're getting with him. He has to step it up, especially if you're a max player.
He
has
stepped
to do
it
better.
up last night. That was
You
a
know,
huge game
I
last
won't
night.
even say he's the most underappreciated or underachieving max guy. I won't even say that. All I'm saying, he's not the most underappreciated. He's a great player, and a lot of players that on his level do that. His level, but there's a level above him where Kawhi and LeBron and all these other guys. That's all I'm saying.
John, thanks, Tony, for the call. Appreciate it. John in Orlando, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What you got?
Hey guys,
Hello?
Did we lose
I gotta
you?
hit you with a
Okay.
how, no way
Thank you.
that he's underappreciated. And here's the thing right here. And I'm not the poo-poo or mental illness or anything like that, because, I understand that I got people that's been affected by it. However, when LeBron went down against Dallas, everybody talked about how mentally weak he is. And so we have to call it what he called it. He's not been playing well. In this last game, he stepped up. But the 4 games before that, he did nothing as a second guy. He didn't
I just
know
gave
his
you
different
his numbers since game 4.
Look at the individual games,
24
Rob.
points.
Stop
No,
it.
I
That's
go by
weak.
average. I go by
Why?
average.
Why?
And he's
That
shooting
doesn't matter.
50% from
What
the
he do?
field.
This is the
He's
playoffs.
playing
You
just
got to
fine.
deliver every night.
Marcel
Just
in
fine.
Mississippi, you're on the Odd
Unbelievable.
Couple.
Is Paul
Fox
George a
Sports
baseball
Radio.
player or something? My goodness.
Marcel,
Hey, what's up, Chris and Rob? How y'all
What's
doing,
up?
man?
What's up, man?
Hey, glad to have you back, Chris. I ain't gonna get on you today, man, because you was bringing fire last week. But anyway, I don't know. I don't think Paul George is underappreciated. If anything, in his playoffs, before the playoffs begin, Jimmy Butler was the most underrated
No
in
doubt.
my opinion.
No doubt.
Because nobody was talking about him, and now they swept the first round. Then they doing well in the second round, about to put Giannis out. Now they want to talk about him.
Right.
And
Good
in my
call.
opinion, Paul George, he was doing great with the Pacers. When he was the front man, he was in the likes of KD, LeBron. He was in that circle. But in that first playoff series, he was looking like Pee Wee Herman out there, man. To be honest.
Nah, that's a good call, especially on the Jimmy Butler call, because Jimmy Butler, right now, he's not underappreciated, but you're right. Going into the playoffs, no question about it. All right.